Good morning. I wanted to congratulate you on a great first week. I think overall you all did very well. I have a few suggestions that I want to speak about. First is I want to really encourage you all to look at the rubrics closely. I think if you use an outline when you're writing, it can help prevent missing certain things. If you look at the screen, I'm going to click onto the direct study week 1 that you submitted already, and you can see here it really goes into like what you're supposed to be writing about. Gives you some more details, 2 to 3 pages, etc. But it also gives you some examples of writing. But up here, 1 and 2, tells you what should be included. And then when you scroll down, you also need to pay attention to the rubric. So when you're writing an outline, you need to maybe start with the criteria and then add some of the details within each of the paragraphs and identify if you think you're meeting each of the criteria in the rubric. I'm going to scroll back up. Okay, and I'm going to just come out of that assignment and go into the second assignment of week 1. One of the things that was missed and by some of you or just not fully included was the dimensions of cultural competence. So this is why I'm referring to being very careful and looking at both the assignment piece of it and the rubric as well to make sure that there are things that are not missed, and using an outline can really help prevent you from missing anything. Like I said, overall it was really well done. A couple other things I want to mention is use of when you're writing, when you shouldn't use contractions like don't. Instead of writing don't, write do not. I didn't really reference that to anybody, but there's a couple things that I just want to talk about in general when writing scholarly papers. And next is using I. Don't use I if possible when use of APA and writing scholarly papers. What you want to do is make a statement and really back it up with evidence-based research. So with a citation. Evidence-based research is really going to strengthen the statements that you're making. Instead of saying in my opinion or I believe, you make the statement and based on your experience, and then you back it up with evidence-based research, citation. I do want to remind you that most of these papers require 3 additional resources outside the regular readings. That you can certainly use the readings when you're writing about this paper or any of the papers that you are assigned. Okay, so one of the things that I really like that most of you have done is include some of your professional experiences and really tied it into your specific topic for that week. It's showing me that you have an understanding that you're assessing your environment, you're identifying what is being done in comparison to the work that's being learned about that week, how other nurses are doing things, or at your facilities you're doing things in. I think you've all done a great job with really tying that into practice. This week, you're going to be talking about elderly, which is definitely a vulnerable population. You have a specific case study. So again, remember to really look closely at what the assignment includes. So if you look at the first one, it's telling you to identify 3 reasons why elderly, vulnerable people may not seek health care, and then explore 3 risk factors for the elderly living at home alone. Gives you the details, the APA, the 2 to 3 pages. but it also includes, you can see here, a small case study. So don't forget to include that, and you can do that a few different ways. You can start by addressing what the case study is and speak about it, including general information about the vulnerable population and the risk factors, etc. But just again, remember to look at the assignment, what should be included, including the case study, as well as looking at the details of the rubric. And then the second one, second assignment, goes into advocating for another vulnerable population, a family. And that one's going to require a little bit more detail about maybe some statistics and research, and you're going to have to kind of dive into a few other things like Medicare, etc. So that's it for now. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. I'm here to help you. Great first week, like I said, and look forward to reading this week's assignment.